Hello everybody. We're going into the Explorer format today because I think Alchemy has ruined historical format. It would have been nicer if they kept historical alone the way it was and created a new format that allowed historical with alchemy cards. That would have been better in my mind. That would have given us an option. Instead they gave us Explorer, and not as many people are going into Explorer. I don't have the specific statistics right now, but I know that it's still mostly going into Modern Standard or Historical. But most of our cards come from the core set of 2021, and a couple of select other cards that are counter-relevant. And the star of our show is Conclave Mentor. If one or more +1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many +1 counters are put on that creature instead. And just put out a Planeswalker. Making some use
with me, friend.
of our mana.
I trust in your abilities.
They quit. Okay. Well, that can happen with Basri Cut. Yeah, if you put down a Planeswalker and you don't have the ability, your opponent doesn't have the ability to do anything about it. Alright, so not much of a problem there, but my daily thing is to attack with 45 creatures, so I'm hoping that the matches last a little bit longer. Let's just go in and show you the deck. I should just quit while I'm ahead, right? Impress all the new subscribers. Okay, we're done, we won! Turn 3 win. Alright, so as I said, Conclave Mentor is where I started with the core set 2021. There seems to be a nice counter theme with that set, and we included just a couple of others from other places, but most of it is still the core 2021 set. There's probably 7-8 cards that are from other places. But we start with Ranger's Guile. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof, so does Snakeskin Veil. Next we have Wildwood Scourge, a Hydra. Comes with counters equal to your X casting cost. Whenever one or more +1 counters are put on another non-Hydra creature you control, you put an extra counter on the Scourge. I don't have any other Hydra creatures, so any other creature I put down is going to make that pop off. One Adherent of Hope. Because Basri's around and Basri's good on counters, I have a kind of Basri theme with this, because Basri was introduced in 2021. Right? Or at least he was showcased. So at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control a Basri Planeswalker, you put a counter on Adherent of Hope. And we have 2 Basri Planeswalkers. The first one you saw, that gives us counters in Indestructible, and Basri Devoted Paladin, the 6 costing one, which gives +1 and Vigilance for their +1. Let's see, what else we got? Feat of Resistance, +1 only on a target creature for instant speed, gains protection of the color of your choice until end of turn. Nice little battle tactic. Fierce Retribution, this is one that's not core 2021, but it's removal. I don't have a lot of removal. Here's one that is part of what makes up my 24 lands, Kabira Takedown. So if I have a lot of creatures, I could use that as a removal as well. Right now I've got, it says I have 21 lands, I think, for, yeah, 21. I've actually got 24. It's the things that can double as lands, and 17 creatures. Let's see, Glorious Anthem, creatures you control. Now this isn't a counter, this is just everybody gets +1/+1. So if there's anything that's less related to the counter theme out of core 2021 set of the cards that I used, it's this one. So if I have to remove anything because the deck isn't working, it'd probably be the Anthem. Here's another land, Balagad Sanctuary, but I can also use it to return a creature card or a target card from my graveyard for the sorcery part. Barrier Breach, exile up to 3 target enchantments. Our own enchantment, Garrett's Uprising. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you draw a card. All creatures have trample, which is nice. And whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield, you draw a card. It's mostly there to give everybody trample. I don't count on having a lot of creatures greater than 4 coming in. But I should be able to build everybody up, and then I want them all to have trample. Hydra's Growth. How can you build a counter card, a counter deck, without having Hydra's Growth? Enchant creature, when it enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on the enchanted creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, you double the number of +1 counters on enchanted creature. I like to give my creature hexproof and then give it Hydra's Growth a lot in some of my other decks. Invigorating Surge, also from 21 set. Put a +1 counter, then double the number of counters on it. Fall of the Imposter. Sing along if this sounds familiar. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Actually has removal for the 3rd chapter. Exile a creature with the greatest power among creatures target opponent controls. Pledge of Unity. +1 counter on each creature, and you gain 1 life for each creature you control. Bosri's Lieutenant. Vigilance, protection from multicolored. When it enters the battlefield, you get a counter. When it dies, if a creature or the Lieutenant had a counter on it, you create a 2/2 white knight creature token with Vigilance. Bosri's Acolyte, a cat cleric with lifelink. When it enters, a +1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. And Bosri's Aegis, a +1 counter on up to each of 2 target creatures, and you can search for the Devoted Paladin and put him in your hand. And it doesn't matter if he's in your library or your graveyard. Hunter's Edge, put a +1 counter on a creature, then that creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature you control. And Sigardian Paladin, as long as you've put 1 or more +1 counters on a creature, the Paladin has trample and lifelink, and you can use her to, if you have 3 mana, target creature you control with a +1 counter against trample and lifelink. Let's see, I think I skipped over somewhere over here. What else do I have? Oh yeah, here. Let's pick up here. Tempered Veteran, put a counter on a target that already has a counter on it, or for 6 mana later you can tap it and put a counter on target creature. Inscription of Abundance. You got 3 options. If you have the kicker cost as well, it'll cost you 5 mana, right? 3 of any color and 2 green. And you can kick it and do all 3. Put counters, gain life, and have your creature fight another creature. Quirion Dryad. Whenever you cast a spell that's white, blue, black, or red, put a +1 counter. So we've got lots of white spells, so we should be able to pump her up quite a bit. The way Scavenging Ooze pumps up, you exile a target creature from a graveyard. If it's a creature card, you get a +1 counter and you gain 1 life. That will help trigger Trelisar Moondancer if we have her out. Whenever you gain life, put a counter on Trelisar and scry 1. It doesn't have to be your own. It doesn't have to be your opponent's graveyard. It could be your graveyard as well that you exile a creature from. We covered the Mentor. We also have 1 copy of Catilda Dawnheart Prime. Protection from werewolves. And for 6 mana, put a +1 counter on each creature you control. What's left? 1 removal mass board wipe by invitation only. Bosri recovered. And of course, Vorinclex from Kaldheim. If you put 1 or more counters on permanent, you double it, and the opponent doesn't get counters anymore. They get half. So if it's only 1 counter, they get 0. And my final land, Turn Timber Serpentine Wood. Or we can use it for the sorcery. Look at the top 7 cards of our library and put a creature card onto the battlefield. That's it. We're a counter deck. Not a counter spell deck. Just one that likes to count all the +1 counters that we're adding on. Now, I don't think we're going to do better than winning on turn 3, but we'll play some more. If you're new, welcome. Remember to hit the subscribe button so you can see when we post a new video. We've been around a couple of years. We've got a number of playlists, so there's lots of good stuff for back content. So if you don't like the newest thing I put out, you can always look among the older stuff. Find something. We've got so many decks out there now. So many themes. I got something you can watch. Alright, we go first. They gave us 2 of the 3 special lands. Not really useful to have those up front. You like to save those for later if you can ever help it. And that one comes in tapped anyway, so might as well use that one. Oh, and they got counters with a lifelink theme. Okay, let's do the Dryad first. What do we want to do? Let's do that. I guess I need to put this down now. I can't save it. They're going to kill the Dryad. Oh, they're just going to freeze it. Okay. That may help us later, because the Dryad's just going to get bigger and bigger. And at some point, we might get the card that enables us to get rid of enchantments. We got plenty of removal. So this now becomes our alternate win condition if we get to 7 mana. And it's not looking good because we just missed a land drop. We've got 2 cards that cost 6 mana, and they already gave us one of them. Which is not the greatest for this deck, actually. I really don't need the big cards right away. I need a little bit of time to have a couple of creatures out that I can build up. And not even enough. I already have Basri there, so why would I bother doing that one? This is so bad. I guess we put that out. They can give this indestructible now. I need the 5th land. I need to do the board wipe. We'll go ahead and sacrifice a goat. I should have killed the rider then. And that comes in as tapped, of course. If they have removal, they got me, right? Notice I didn't get a single basic land. Sacrifice creature. Yeah, we kind of have to. All my dreams shattered. That's a long time to think over one counter. Alright. R1 board wipe. Still can't cast their spell in our hand. They just have yet another Resolute Rider. And none of our other stuff works because we don't have creatures. And that's not a creature. And so we're dead. They had enough removal and stuff on us. Not enough creatures. Not nearly enough lands when we needed them. We are out of here. We need a much better deal. I've made a ton of decks that just have anywhere between 7 to 16 creatures and had more creatures show up than that. We can go in and look at the number of basic lands that I have real quick and see if I've just gone way overboard on terms of tapped lands that's maybe causing me too much trouble. Okay, so I got 3 plains and 3 forests, so if I go ahead and I get rid of Let's see, where is it? Botanical Plaza. We'll get rid of one of those. And do I make it a plains or a forest? Let's go look at the land distribution. 60. So I guess it needs to be a plains technically. Alright, we'll add one more plains. Slight editing there. Just because the meta can be fast enough in Explorer that you don't really want to have a tap land every single turn. But I think they had the Resolute Rider attack once when he was tapped out, and I should have blocked with both of the sheep. I'm not sure if that would have changed anything or not, because I still didn't draw the land and creatures the way I needed to. When you put a card like Modern Age into your hand, you should know what you're willing to discard without spending a lot of time in-game figuring it out. Looks like an artifact deck, huh? Missed my land drop. That is bad news for us. We've got 24 lands. But when you're going up against a blue control deck, once they get that kind of advantage, if they have even one counterspell, you're in trouble. They allow that to happen. You could have a bounce spell. Bounce spell is one nice way to eliminate your counter effect. Or you're just going to tap it down. Okay. That's fine. I think we've got time. I would like a little more land. That is not land. We'll just attack with our Vigilant Attacker. Now I need to keep 2 mana open for Feat of Resistance, which means I'm more reliant on everything getting land. He's looking at the one the one creature I have that's going to give him trouble now. Prison sentence. No. You get counter, you get protection from white. Now you just made your problem worse. Because you tapped your blue to cast the spell. Thank you. Everybody gets a counter. Yeah, I guess we can use that card. And everybody gets to attack. And they just take it. I guess I had fun. I don't like missing land drops that much. Ooh, mastery stuff. Let's go in there real quick. Take a detour. Mastery tree. Suggest my pick. Give me the Serum Sovereign. Just the card style. And one more. Jin Katax's avatar, set as default. New avatar away. I kept myself restricted as much as I could to the core 2021 cards just because there's been thousands of Magic cards and so many of them deal with counters. You really have to pick and choose. You could easily chunk and include 4 copies of any one particular card if you want. The only one I really made sure to do that with was Conclave Mentor. And the rest I just kind of wanted a nice assortment. But seeing Basri in 2021, I kept to a lot of Basri cards. Some good synergies there if you can get things sticking around. Three colors at least. Feels like a life gain deck to me. Let's go ahead and do Catilda. And that way we've always got 1 mana up for Snakeskin Veil. Exile target tapped creature. No. Let's see, we can put you down now. And we don't have to worry about saving our mana, because we don't have any extra spells left. He's gonna take my mentor. How dare you? He's matching us with the land. He's already back up to full health almost. Okay, let's put a counter on everybody. That got rid of the 2 revitalizes. Yeah. Probably should have expected that at some point. We need another creature now. That is not what we needed. Immortal Sun, and now we're just flooding out with land. Oh, they're just going to gain a lot of life. And now they get to create a bunch of creatures. And now they get everything back in their deck. And they get to start all over. I think they got us. I would need Barrier Breach like right now. I'm gonna have to cannibalize my own creatures. It's okay, I can't get them back. I mean, I have Ball of Ged Recovery. I could get one creature back. Yet another exile card. 2 exile cards. Lovely. And me without my Barrier Breach. We thought we had a chance for a second there. We still do if I get one particular card. What are you waiting for, dude? Your turn's over. You don't have any cards left. What do they have left that's holding? Oh, they can sacrifice the Fountain of Renewal anytime they want. We have to tell them. I feel like it's pretty hopeless now, but we'll go through the motions. If we just get Barrier Breach, we could turn the entire game around in a second. We're going to have so much life gain and card draw now. If they have yet another Gaia's Blessing, that would be helpful to them too. If we do turn things around, they'll end up drawing their... Oh, yeah, there's another... There's the other Gaia's Blessing, so they're just going to recycle their deck. And if they get another board wipe, we could be in just as much trouble as we were before. Do we have anything good here? Nope. Nothing else to do. We have to wait. Yeah, each turn that passes makes it much less likely for us to be able to do anything. What, we got 2 turns left and then we're dead from the poison alone? Nope. Nothing good. They got us. The board wipes get us. We only have 17 creatures. No, that was no fun for me. I didn't get the one card I wanted. It's always frustrating when you build answers into your deck and you know the answer's there somewhere and you just don't get it. So the only thing that I could think of really is I go ahead and take that +1 enchantment out and maybe find a draw card engine to throw in. I haven't used Mazemind's Tome in a while. Maybe that's a good thing. There's always Reckoner's Bankbuster if you want to do something more modern. Most powerful card, they give it to you up front. That's just great. Actually gave me 4 lands. They've already got us flooding out, basically. Oh, so we're just going to do nothing but lands this turn, are we? That's really useful. And this is when your opponent should be going fast, right? I've got no creatures. They've got a board presence. They can swing in and hit. And they're slowing down. And having 6 lands to bring down Bowsery means nothing if I don't have anybody else to go along with them. Vorinclex, huh? Alright. We can cast something next turn, finally. It's only about 2 turns too late. Yeah, turn 6 seems like a great idea to be able to cast your first spell, really, right? That gives the 2 most powerful cards. So we have to wait in order to cast them. How much you want to bet he has an exile card in? Yeah, no matter what, we're dead next turn. He's already got too much of a board presence. You can't just sit there and do nothing for 6 turns. That would have had to have been, yeah, it just doesn't matter. That would have... I needed something other than drawing 7 lands. That was greater than 50% card draw. And unfortunately, this is normal. We're either getting land starved or flooded. Thanks for fixing that, Arena. It's only been a couple years. Someday we'll get the right amount of land, and we'll get to have a real match. Sometimes we have one, and then it's so long between, you know, oh, another 237 cards? Okay, Red Monkey, what do you got? Oh, I put down 2 greens. I'm not even looking anymore. It's so many times that you get starved and then flooded that it can seem like, when was the last time I had a decent match? And you had a decent match in there somewhere, but you just don't remember it anymore. Because you've been psychologically scarred by everything else. They've got their 3 colors already. The exiling begins. Do it again. Have Jinky Taxi say hello. Hello, is it me you're looking for? Do I put down a land? Or do I destroy their enchantment? We wait for them to find their land. They've got so many cards to search through. There's green and black. Is this a 5-color deck? Are they going to put down Joda? Turn 5 and a full hand of cards. What do you got? How much you want to bet that's a board wipe? Yay, we got them back down to equal life with us. Woohoo! They've got blue in there, so we have to give them time to think. Toski. I don't really have a way to deal with Toski. Let's go ahead and go get our Planeswalker. Maybe someday we'll get another land. We attack with... Yeah, I guess we attack with both of them. That's as good a strategy as anything if that is a Doomscar. That Toski stays and hits and gets an extra card draw while all of our creatures die. We need 5 to kick that. We need 6 mana for Basri. They're probably just going to get rid of our Plaza. Even to do this, we would need 4 other lands, and we don't have our 4th other land yet. Yep. We were a long way from being able to use that to draw a card anyway. So, small loss there. I'm hoping he can't do anything against Belisara. He's just mandatory. He has to attack. Yay! Let's do this. Now everybody has Trample, right? Yeah. I'm hoping he'll chump block with the Callous Blood Mage. Yes. No. Yeah, okay, he decided it's probably not worth it. Okay, fine. So now he may think he can get a card draw if he attacks with the Blood Mage. So do we use Fierce Retribution on the Blood Mage? He's got to do something this turn. I get some life, we get to scry. I guess that's as good a card to take as any. That gives us a creature in case this turns out to be a board wipe. No, it's just Starnheim Unleashed. Oh, what? Why did he place Binding of the Old Gods? He could have... He could have had like 3 extra... He could have had 3 angels instead of just the 1. My guys all have trample. I'm not sure about that. Alright, he's all tapped out, right? And we have 5 now? Kick it! Put the counters on you. Target me as the player. Target creature I control. Fight you. Bam. We get to scry. I don't think it matters, but we have 2 other creatures now. We want a 6 land for Basri if he somehow had some strange 0-costing counterspell. He does not. I don't think the 3 angels would have saved him at that point, right? Right. Let's go in and play 1 more. This is another one of those decks that I like to make that there's a lot of synergy with it, with the way the cards interact with each other. If you can build up a critical mass and just watch all the triggers pop off, it's a sight to behold. We've seen a little bit of it here. The Conclave Mentor itself has just such an impressive ability. If you get a couple, and we tend to get dealt a couple at the beginning a lot. And here, again, our most expensive one, I guess we'll take it. We do have 3 cards we can, well, 4 cards we can cast. Make that 5. It would be nice to start getting a land at some point. But we're not in the same situation before where we just got land after land after land. We really just want 4 so we can have enough spare to protect our creatures. And 3 colors already, and oh, that was just a little too quick. It's kind of strange sometimes to go into a format like Historic or Explorer where like mono red aggro is still a big thing, goblin decks are still a big thing, elf decks are a big thing, and to see people just quit after 2 small creatures coming out. I wonder if that happens just a lot, where people are like, if you're coming at me with aggro, I just have no interest and I'm going to go away. I'm not sure about Basri's Solidarity, because you really want to wait a lot on that one. I really want to wait on Scourge too. I want to wait on everything. I just want to get maximum effect. It's not healthy. I need to learn to do better things. So let's go ahead and do the Scourge now. Just so we're at least putting something on the board. Adventure deck. Will you have just green, or is it going to be white and green? And I wanted land, and that's what I got instead. Elder Gargoyle. Crap in a hat. I'm going to have to use Fierce Retribution on the Gargorath and hope that's enough to hold them off. Nice. Let's see, that's 5, 6. Yeah, he's got 6 lands already. And he's not attacking. Do you have enough of a board built up yet? Go away. Aha! How do you like me now? Giganosaurus. They like me just fine. He quits. No way. Look at this. I was okay, so that was going to give me what? I'd go to 12 and then 13 there, and that would be an 8. And he still had the Beanstalk Giant that he could put down as a 6/6. And he 10/10 was the highest he could go, and the Scourge was going to go higher, and he couldn't outscale the Surge, so he quits. And I guess it's all green, so he didn't have removal later? Oh, that was fun. I mean, I was thinking of not casting any of those spells and holding them and just waiting for him to cast the Giant and then do the invitation only. But that was fun. Okay. We'll leave it there. All we did was add counters, folks. That's the purpose of the deck, but we didn't even really attack. We just added the counters. We'll go ahead and show you the deck one more time. Oh, that makes me laugh. Sometimes I amuse myself. Well, I wanted to count the number of counters that I could add, and sometimes that's enough to make people leave. They take their toys and go home. All right, the star of the show, undeniably Conclave Mentor from Core Set 2021. Bosri didn't play as much of an effect. I would still probably do something else with Glorious Anthem. That should probably come out. So if you've got a good suggestion as to what else would be better, if it's just, do I need to go to 18 creatures? Do I need one more creature so I can start having some better chance of getting something up on the board in case they do a board wipe? Or do I need, just another Fierce Retribution in there to stop an attacking creature and survive longer? I don't know, but I'm open. That one seems like it should come out, really. It doesn't fit with the theme along with everything else, because it's not a counter, per se, like everything else. But some of these others are questionable, because we don't have a lot of life gain. We've only got a few, so maybe Trelasar is not the best choice. There are ways you could build the deck around Trelasar that would sort of take advantage of the life gain a lot better. There certainly were in Modern Standard back when, before the Great Rotation in September, when she was around. There were some good decks with her in it. So this isn't necessarily the best place for it, but there's a couple of places for life gain in there. So, and these are always nice little clutch cards. I like to keep the hexproof cards in, and I think maybe we could do. I mean, you could do something more with chunking, where you take out a lot of these and you just do like 4 Hunter's Edge, 4 Invigorating Growth, and 4 Hydra's Growth, and go crazy from that as a basis. So there's all sorts of options that you can do with the counters. But yeah, like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of the deck, and thanks for joining me. We'll catch you next time. Thanks. Have a good one.